Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, a new Bitcoin bull market is forming. Guys, Bitcoin broke $13,000 last night, and I'll be quite honest with you, I don't see how it's deniable that Bitcoin is returning to all-time high now. I've been saying for the last several months that Bitcoin holding fast above the long-term downtrending level of resistance, holding fast above $10,000, having massive gains being made on the news front and in the fundamental landscape, that Bitcoin is going to go into a new bull market. It is just a matter of time. We've been talking about the technicals for the last 6 months, the last 12 months, the last year we've been discussing this, guys, and in today's video, we have confirmation. In this video, I'm going to be showing you a pattern that predicts exactly where Bitcoin is going, and I'll give you a hint. That prediction points to above the previous all-time high on Bitcoin. How long will it take to get there? How are we going to get there? What technicals and fundamentals say we're going to get there? We're going to be discussing all of that and more in today's video. Guys, I think you're going to get a lot of great value out of today's video. If you do, as always, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. It really helps out the channel when you do that. But without much further ado, guys, let's go ahead and dive right on into it. This video is sponsored by the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. Guys, there are some massive gains happening on Bitcoin right now, and if you want to make the most out of those gains, you need to understand how these markets work, and you need to understand how to trade safely and profitably. That's why we created CT2A. The link's in the description down below, and if you check the description, there's a $40 off coupon code called SweaterWeather2020. You can use at checkout. But let's go ahead and get on with the video. If you check our Twitter, yesterday we posted something saying, "Hooray, Bitcoin hit $12,000, and we walked in this morning and I'm like, hey, Gia, guess what? We hit $13,000 last night. Remake that, but with a 3 instead of a 2. So we posted that too. Make sure you follow us on Twitter because Bitcoin is doing crazy things, and we want to make sure that you stay up to date. One of those crazy things it's doing is having a massive breakout of this consolidation pattern that we've been looking at for the last several weeks here on Bitcoin. If you guys will remember, this is not the only consolidation pattern that we saw Bitcoin break out of relatively recently. We also saw Bitcoin break north out of this one right here. When Bitcoin broke this, we rallied a total of 35% over the next month. This breakout has only moved 20% so far and has only lasted 14 days, half the size of the previous. But guys, the thing I want to talk about today is not actually these two consolidation patterns. I want to zoom out a little bit further and show you this entire market right here. First of all, let's look at our resistance. What we see right now are two resistance levels. One at $13,000 where we are right now, and one at $13,700 where we rallied to back here in June of 2019. And side note, I want to make sure you guys are aware of something. A lot has changed since July of 2019. A seriously large amount of bullish things have happened since July of 2019, and we managed to rally to $13,700 during that time with no time to consolidate and lock in gains in the same way that we have just had. That's a big difference between then and now. Anyway, let's keep going. These two highs create what I call a zone of resistance. That zone of resistance is going to look something like this. In fact, zones of resistance are something we talk about in CT2A in 2 different videos. Our support and resistance video for the noobs right here, and the convergence of support and resistance, this higher level video that we have down here later on in the academy. This zone of resistance is very, very important. Number one, this bottom part of the zone is not very well established. $13,000 is a big even, but Bitcoin still has not decided exactly where it wants the top of this market to be. And the reason all of this is so important is quite simple, really, because there's a massive pattern that is staring you and me right in the face right now, and it is a gigantic inverse head and shoulders pattern, the likes of which I don't think I have ever seen on Bitcoin before. Now, I'll admit, this isn't exactly the sexiest inverse head and shoulders pattern that I've ever seen. It's not me, of course. Humble brag. I just had to throw that out there. Hot stuff. Okay, I'll stop. But even though it's not the best looking head and shoulders pattern, it is still a head and shoulders pattern, and the crash back in March due to the COVID news ensured that we would have that head. And what do we do with inverse head and shoulders patterns, guys? Well, you know exactly what we do with them. We use them for price targets, and the price target for this one moves from right here to right here in the middle of our neckline. Now, like I said, this isn't the best looking head and shoulders pattern I've ever seen. You could argue the neckline's like right here, or right here, or right here, or way the freak over here. The point is, it's a head and shoulders pattern, and we can go ahead and extrapolate price data from that by taking the height of the inverse head and shoulders pattern and extrapolating it all the way to the upside. Doing that gives us a price target of $22,906 and change. Now, before y'all flame me in the comment section because price targets are not always perfectly accurate, I realize that. Price targets are not perfectly accurate, and in fact, I don't use them for any more than a gauge of somewhat where Bitcoin will go. So based on this inverse head and shoulders pattern, I would say the price target would be somewhere in the ballpark between $17,000 and $25,000. There's a large margin of error there. But the point is, the medium, the middle of that, is around $20,000 to $22,000, breaking all-time high. And you better believe that if Bitcoin breaks all-time high, we're going to go on a bull market, the likes of which we haven't seen since the last presidential election, and we probably never will again, quite frankly. Lest you forget, the previous bull market from bottom to top rallied 10,000% over the course of 2.5 years. Now, I'm not exactly convinced that Bitcoin is going to rally to 10,000% this time, because that would give us a $400,000 Bitcoin, but I could definitely see a couple thousand% gain up to 60, 70, 80, 90, or $100,000. Guys, we need to remember that the fundamental landscape on Bitcoin is always changing. When I got into cryptocurrency, what I just said of Bitcoin going to well into the latter part of the 5 digits would have been absurd, because when I got into cryptocurrency, I was buying Bitcoin at $2,900 a coin. I need you guys to realize that Bitcoin is not static. Bitcoin changes. In fact, it changes pretty quickly. We've just seen PayPal, who has 100 million plus users, move into the cryptocurrency space. Now, I understand all of the caveats that come along with that, with not being able to withdraw Bitcoin. It doesn't matter. The point is, when you go on PayPal, you see the Bitcoin symbol from here on out when that launches. It is, quite frankly, from our current perspective, inconceivable what that will do to the cryptocurrency space. Even PayPal just buying up Bitcoin to have liquidity in that functionality for 100 million people will massively impact the market. It may not cause a massive bull run, because it's probably going to be bought over the counter and not on exchange, but it does mean that Bitcoin's being taken out of circulation. So just PayPal acquiring that Bitcoin to provide that service alone is going to cause big impacts in the cryptocurrency space. Guys, Bitcoin is trading at $13,000 again, and this time, when we're trading at $13,000, it doesn't look like it's the end of a rally like it did last time. It looks like it's the beginning of one. When Bitcoin had rallied all the way up to $13,700 before, depending on where you measure the bottom from, it had just rallied 314% in 140 days, with no time to rest, no time to consolidate, no time to lock in gains, and no time to build our massive EPVR support that we have now between $6,000 and $12,000. This time, Bitcoin has rallied 240% over the course of 220 days, on top of the fact that everything below about here was just panic selling and wasn't real price action in the same way that everything over here was. Bitcoin has actually rallied less, and it's rallied slower. What that means is that we've been able to build more support. We've been able to build a base. We've been able to get more people into the cryptocurrency space. The YouTube space in crypto has grown massively. Adoption is moving fast. The only problem is it's moving just a little bit too slow for you to see it change on the day-to-day basis. But you look at it from a monthly time frame, and you see even just 6 months ago, this space was nowhere near as developed as it is now. And that shows in the price action, because like I said, what we're doing right now looks like the very beginning of a rally. It doesn't look like the end of a rally like we saw over here. Bitcoin does not look exhausted here. It looks like it's rearing to go much, much higher. Guys, I need you to remember what we've talked about with the 20 exponential moving average and the 50 simple moving average, because it's very important. We just saw a cross between them. The 20 crossed above the 50 about a week and a half ago. That's very important on the daily chart, because it does indicate rally. I mean, you can literally just look back on the history of the market and see where it's indicating rallies and pullbacks. I mean, if you've ever done technical analysis, you see the pattern I'm showing you right here. But looking out on the weekly chart is where it gets interesting, because as I've talked about before, the last 4 times that these crosses have happened on Bitcoin, a 20 weekly crossing above a 50 weekly simple. First time right here, we saw a bull market. The second time right here, we saw a bull market. The third time right here, we saw a small bull market, but it was a bull market. And now, just a few months ago, we saw another one. Bitcoin is sitting above the 20 weekly exponential moving average, which is incredibly important for maintaining a bull market. Notice here in the 2016-17 bull market, Bitcoin never once fell below it. And also keep in mind that these red lines right here represents halving events. Every time a halving takes place, a bull market occurs. We can see another halving taking place back here, and a bull market followed. It's pretty simple, really, guys. It's simple pattern analysis. People that say technical analysis has no bearing on the price action just baffle me, because at the end of the day, the chart is not lying. There are patterns that repeat themselves, and when you have patterns that repeat themselves, you have something that is useful for predictive analysis, and that is what we are doing right now. We're doing predictive analysis on the future of Bitcoin based on underlying intrinsic properties of Bitcoin's chart. And guys, that's not even to mention some of the great news that's happening over on the fundamentals that you can't see on the chart. For example, new addresses are nearly at all-time high. The only time new addresses on a weekly resolution on Bitcoin have ever been this high was when we hit $20,000. Well, I'll close with this, guys. This year has been the year of pandemic, it's been the year of economic recovery and crash, and it's been the year of currency crises and inflation. All of those things lend themselves to the bullishness of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a non-inflationary, non-centralized, decentralized currency. The fact that it's non-inflationary and the fact that it's decentralized are the selling points of Bitcoin. Without those things, Bitcoin is nothing. But because Bitcoin is immutable, because Bitcoin is decentralized, because Bitcoin has a hard cap, because Bitcoin cannot be tampered with, It is the future. We, in the entire history of mankind, have never seen a currency that is incapable of being hyperinflated. It's never happened. And remember, guys, every currency in the history of the world, up until the currencies that are around today, have been hyperinflated or destroyed or lost or not useful for some reason. In a video that's coming out on Sunday, it's already recorded, we talk about agri-beads in West Africa and how the hyperinflation of those agri-beads actually led to the entire West African slave trade. If you look into history through an economic lens, you will see that most of the travesty that's happened to humanity started with an issue in the currency. Because when you shake the economy of a civilization, you shake its foundation to the core. And that massive problem of human society that no one ever talks about is solved with Bitcoin. So guys, get hyped, get pumped, go ahead and FOMO a little bit, but just a little bit. Don't make any purchases. It's okay to FOMO a little bit. Maybe buy yourself a nice dinner or something with your Bitcoin gains. But don't get too excited. Make sure you keep a level head and make sure you're using your stop losses because a lot of people get burned in bull markets. You'd be surprised. A lot of people actually lose a lot of money in bull markets because they get too excited and they buy in too much and they use too much leverage. So make sure you're being cautious. Make sure you keep a level head. Keeping emotions out of your trading is just as much about keeping FOMO out of your trading as it is about keeping FUD out of it, because both of them are extremely dangerous. Guys, it's incredibly important that you educate yourself in cryptocurrency, because if you don't understand how this market works, you're never going to understand how to make money in it. And that is why we created the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. Guys, CT2A is the one-stop shop to learn everything you need to know about cryptocurrency and trading and technical analysis so that you can profit in these markets. There is a reason that people spend the first 15, 20 years of their lives going to some form of grade school, and then they decide to go on and spend another 4 to 12 years in higher education. It's because constant education is the door and constant improvement is the key to success. And if you don't take that, you will never have it. You must educate yourself in the cryptocurrency space. It's not even up for debate. You have to do it. Now, look, guys, I'm not trying to tell you that if you don't take CT2A, you're never going to amount to anything. I'm not trying to do that. That's high-pressure sales tactic. I don't like that. But I am telling you that there's a very important thing you need to do, and that very important thing is to invest in your education, and we have built a product that allows you to do that. We've helped thousands of students understand cryptocurrency. We get testimonials from those students all the time. If you check the comments section, you might actually see some of them. And when you purchase CT2A, you're helping to support this channel. Like I said, there's a coupon code in the comment section down below called SweaterWeather2020. You can use that to get $40 off a checkout. We do have a full 14-day money-back refund guarantee. Yes, we do accept Bitcoin payments. I know you were thinking that. I can read your mind. I can't. But anyway, guys, that is going to wrap it out for today's video. I do hope you did enjoy today's video. If you did, as always, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at CryptoJeb. We are very active over there now, and we have a very talented artist in-house named Gia who is making everything over on our Instagram. So make sure you go and check that out. It's really awesome, actually. But like I said, guys, that is going to wrap it out for today's video. Before we go, though, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.